The basketball addicts are back at it with one question on their minds that will direct it to Dan Gladman first. The question is, what happened to the Golden State Warriors?
Well, Steph sucked.
Wow.
And I was shocked. I'm disappointed. And it makes me wonder if there's something going on in his personal life.
It makes me wonder if he's still the best player in the league, but hey, that's just me.
Well, he had the best season in the league.
I like how you changed one word in that sentence.
I definitely changed it. LeBron James is the best player in basketball.
I love it.
Wait, but in fairness, and I'm just a neutral arbitrator, Steph Curry
one of those.
hit 402 three-pointers.
Greatest shooter of all time, no argument.
No one had hit 300 plus. He hit more from 40 plus than the rest of the league combined. So during this season, Steph Curry was the best player. But I think what we saw was that LeBron James said, the regular season doesn't matter. I need it at the end. The Thunder, who pushed the Warriors, said regular season doesn't matter. We'll figure it out by the end. The Warriors went for 73, was playing guys like Steph throughout, chasing the record.
You think that has to do with why they lost the NBA Finals?
Andrew Bogut, injured.
Iggy
looked like he was 45, not 35.
Okay.
Steph carrying multiple injuries. They could have rested for a month and a half and had the number 1 or 2 seed.
They were 4 points away, like a possession.
This is my thing. I don't like the whole injury thing because nobody was giving any sort of leeway to the Cavs last year when they were injured.
Yeah, they were. Doc Rivers said the Warriors were lucky.
Of one person, Doc Rivers. Everybody else, all of our colleagues around the world media did not give any credit to the Cavs, and they were injured.
No
but now we give it to the
Warriors.
Golden State Warriors?
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Out of the I believe, 37 champions, 2 have had a starting player miss more than 2 games in the playoffs.
Strong argument.
The Warriors have had many starting players miss games in the playoffs, including the best player unanimously in the league during the regular season, Steph Curry. So to be able to do it, the numbers say you can't unless you're healthy. The Cavs weren't healthy last year, couldn't do it. The Warriors weren't healthy this year,
now,
couldn't do it.
Injuries is one thing, but a certain suspension in Game 5 also has to be part of the equation.
So let me pose a question here. Did Draymond Green's antics cost the Warriors the finals?
Yes.
Thank you.
We are this close to talking about LeBron as having a disappointing legacy. Yeah, even if he was 2-5 in the finals, he's still a great player, but his resume is not the same. If Draymond Green doesn't get suspended and that whole drama starts with Golden State, they may have won Game 5. They should have won Game 5 with their complete lineup, injuries or not.
We're going to see the chase down block for years and years and years. The most clutch play that LeBron James made was stepping over Draymond Green.
Absolutely, I agree with you. But I think another thing that you have to point out, Draymond Green didn't learn his lesson. After the step over and the suspension, I still saw him on court antagonizing LeBron James verbally. And to me, even after Game 5, they had a chance, but it's when he asked LeBron to rise to the occasion. He gave him the fuel, and I think that's where Green stepped out of himself. But my friend Vidal told me something, and I believe it. Draymond Green needs to fly under the radar. He does not need to be the focal point of what Golden State is doing. Agree, Meg?
But then he wouldn't be Draymond Green.
But no, I disagree.
He has said himself that when people asked him after the suspension coming back for the next game, are you going to tone it down? Are you gonna play differently? He said, I would not be myself if I didn't play the way I know how to play. This is how he knows how to play.
I gotta disagree with that statement because last year Draymond Green and this year Draymond Green, I believe, are 2 different Draymond Greens.
Yeah, this year's better.
This year's better.
No, I'll tell you this right now. Last year's Draymond Green helped them win the championship because last year's Draymond Green wasn't as egotistical and wasn't looking to be a fire starter. He just was. Draymond Green's confidence in himself, I believe, has cost him.
But this year's Draymond Green would not have put them in a position in Game 7 to even only lose by 4.
Absolutely. But last year's Draymond Green wouldn't have put them in a position in Game 5 to squander this series.
Last year's Draymond Green also wasn't getting triple-doubles like it was going out of style. Like, he's raised his game. Sometimes when you're close to the fire, you're going to get burnt. His worst 2 games in the playoffs, the 2 games coming off of suspension, when he tried to keep it in. His best game, arguably, may have been Game 7 when the suspension wouldn't have mattered. He was himself.
You're right, he raised his game, but he also raised his volume. Let's talk about something else. With the Warriors losing this series, is this the death of the death lineup? Because you talk about that three-ball gunning roster that they put out there. I look at it, it was kind of the three-ball that cost them this game at the end. No.
They needed a big man in Game 7.
And I don't think it's Andrew Bogut is the answer, too.
It's definitely not Festus Ezeli.
Well,
It's definitely
Festus
not
is-
Anderson Varejao.
Right. Bogut works well for that team. He doesn't necessarily score the points, but there's games where he gets the rebounds, and he's a really good passer out of the post. And that was really missing in games 6 and 7. And there were a couple of games in the series where he was a rim protector for the Warriors. And you didn't see many block shots in the last couple of games since he went out.
The death lineup is nice when it's a changeup. When you're hitting teams with it for 5-10 minutes here in the clutch, in the fourth quarter. But when you're starting from it, it's not a reversion from the mean. This probably is going to be the death of Harrison Barnes and that max contract that he thinks he was going to get when he opted out of the 64. 64 will look real nice.
It looks
right
real
now.
nice right now to his agents.
He's big in that death lineup because he can defend fours, but he also can stretch out and hit threes.
No, well, can he? Can he stretch out and hit the three? Because it didn't look like it.
He couldn't in this series, and so I don't know if you can bring him back into that locker room, and he's going to make more money next year than Steph Curry?
That's dicey. Okay, so let's close on this question. Steph Curry is known as the greatest shooter in the history of the game. He has just gone through 2 NBA finals where not only is he expected to be the finals MVP if his team wins, but at least to have big games. He did not in either finals. Is he still the greatest shooter of all time?
Well, look, in big game situations, you kind of still have to lean towards Ray Allen.
Absolutely.
Ray Allen has given it to you in the playoffs. In the finals, he's hit those big shots. Reggie Miller has had amazingly clutch three-pointers in his career, if we're talking all time, but Reggie never won a championship. So
Absolutely.
It's pretty close. Steph is still a very young guy, still has years to build on that.
Yep.
But right now, I would say Ray Allen is still the most, and Larry Bird, the most clutch outside shooters in the playoffs.
Donovan, you crowning him?
I wouldn't say he's the most clutch, but let's not forget when he was, 0 for 9 or 11, and then went off in overtime, when he was coming back from injury. That seems like it was 1,000 years ago. It was in this playoffs. So he's going to have a lot more chances to add to the resume, but his game winner from 48 against Oklahoma City, not in the playoffs, but still a big game, is one of the clutchest shots I've ever seen.
Quickly, yes or no?
If I'm picking a shooter and I've got 6 seconds on the shot clock, Ray Allen's getting the ball.
Nice. I'm going to give the shot to me personally, but hey, that's just me. We still have more to come. The third quarter is coming up. We have lots to talk about, lots to feed on. We still haven't talked about Kevin Love, and he played, kind of. So when we return, Canada's home for Talking Hoops. Oh, remember this? This is LeBron James' signature play. You will remember this forever. He's got
Dunk
like 7
that,
of them.
dude.
Damn, son, you big.
Dunk that.
We'll be back with more. Hey,